Yo, what's going on, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome back to a brand new Locals feature match. Here we are in round 2 for February 10th Locals. We've got Voiceless Voice on the left taking on the Snake Eye, pure Snake Eye deck on the right. No Fire Kings. Been trying to, keep as little of that on the channel as possible because I know, like, the past couple weeks I did, like, a ton of Fire King. And now with the new Snake Eye support, like, it's going to be even more popular, so... I try to keep as much variety on as I possibly can, but, I usually try to have the better players on to prevent, like, unnecessary misplays and things of that nature and get higher quality games for you guys. But then you also, like, have the repetition of maybe seeing the same player on twice, the same deck. Also, one thing I have been trying to avoid 100% of the time is mirror matches, because I know you guys do not like mirror matches whatsoever. I think those are just, like, probably some of the worst performing videos on the channel are mirror matches. And I get it. I don't really like watching mirror matches either. I'd rather see two different decks face off against each other. And I think this is our first Voiceless Voice, feature on the channel as well, which is kind of cool. I think I've only played against the deck twice, once in testing, once in tournament. So I'm still trying to learn the deck myself. Yeah, we'll see how this one plays out. We're going to see that the only form of interaction our Voiceless Voice players had on the Snake Eye deck here is just Ash on, well, Imperm on Ash. And that tends to be, like, I think one of the highest value things to hit. If all you got is Imperm, you might as well try to Imperm Snake Eye Ash, because that card is so incredibly strong on its own. I think in the Fire King variant, it at least can get you like 8 interruptions or something crazy like that. Yeah, it's kind of absurd, and I won't be surprised when we see that card eventually get hit on the ban list, because it definitely is deserving of it. Diabellstar hits the field, setting OSS, and setting another card alongside it, linking into SP Little Knight. They have the Snake Eye field spell up, the not the Subversion, but the Divine Temple. It's a pretty good extender for them. And yeah, one Imperm, which I wouldn't expect really to do a whole lot against the deck, is putting in a ton of work here. They're just ending on SP Little Knight pass. I mean, they do have follow-up, they have OSS, I think they have another Ash in hand. Snake Eye Ash, that is, as they use Ash Blossom on pre-prep. And they do put Fenrir on board first, just in case they do get hand trapped. They can take advantage of Fenrir's effect, which they will, getting rid of the Divine Temple of the Snake Eye. So that is a great extender. I believe a 1-of in the deck as well, getting completely turned off here. And now they're going to go ahead and fire off the Fenrir effect, since they know they probably don't have Droll. Otherwise, right, you probably want to let pre-prep resolve, then Droll them afterwards, because that's going to trade with a lot more cards and save the Ash for some other extender later on. We're going to see the normal summon Diviner, the Diviner, the Herald, and they're going to chain SP Little Knight to that, which, I mean, I guess fair enough, right? I mean, they were going to send Entis probably anyways to pop it. But then you could just chain the, what is it, the Little Knight then, I guess? Maybe they're worried of an early battle phase getting rid of. You want to keep your Little Knight in rotation, obviously, as long as possible. So they will send Entis. Entis will still try to go after that unknown card and force it out. It is a Call by the Grave that gets chained on the Entis. And they'll just go battle phase, swing in for 2,400. And then they're going to scale up the Odd Eyes Pendulum Graph Dragon. During the end phase, you can add a ritual spell from your deck to your hand, then return this card to the hand. I don't think I've ever seen that card played, so it's pretty cool to see that end phase, both Diviner and SP Little Knight returning. They did search the Prayers of the Voiceless Voice, the ritual spell for the archetype, and they'll just go ahead and pass there. Normal summon a Snake Eye Ash. Tempting effect, and that looks like it is unfortunately going to resolve here. They don't really have much in the form of interaction. I mean, they do have Fenrir, that's about it, but Fenrir is directly being checked by the SP Little Knight. If they wanted to banish the Snake Eye Ash face down for whatever reason, they could just chain Little Knight, obviously, dodge it. But then I'm not really sure where that leaves them. I mean, they have 1-for-1. They still know they have OSS, of course, which with so many extenders still left in the deck, like Oak and and stuff like that. It's probably just not worth using the Fenrir. And they do bring out the Oak. Poplar will send itself to the Spell and Trap Zone, and Oak will bring out the Ash. And we saw Link Rebo bring itself out earlier by setting off another level 1. And we're going to see them go for a Link 3 in that of the Promethean Princess. Promethean Princess will bring out the Flamber's Dragon. Flamber's Dragon will send the Fenrir back to the Spell and Trap Zone. Never getting a chance really to use that effect here. And they can only summon fire monsters right now. That is just the inherent condition of Bestower, is that while it's on board, much like the Guard Dragons, you can only summon dragons, you can only summon fire. So they link into Raging Phoenix, and that is a Link 4, which allows them to get into Zelantis here. They aren't fire locked in any capacity, so they're not going to be able to do cool Zelantis plays like you can in Marincess, where you water lock yourself, then make Zelantis, then resolve it, and then if your opponent has no water monsters, right, they don't get brought back to the field. So essentially it's just a board wipe. But here they're just kind of using it as an extender to get that Raging Phoenix in the graveyard. But it will proc actually the opponent's Diviner, the Herald. It does special summon itself back, so they do get to use its effect again, dumping Trias Hierarchia, which does have a nice little quick effect in the hand or grave, tributing off a fairy to summon itself, and then gets an effect based on how many fairies it tributed. So I think they're just explaining that effect there. And then, yeah, the graveyard effect of Raging Phoenix basically says, if a face-up fire monster control is destroyed by battle or card effect while this card in your graveyard, you can target one of those monsters. Special on this card, if you do, this card gains attack equal to that monster's attack. So they will use Trias Hierarchia here, sending the Diviner, and Diviner, since it was tributed, gets to summon a level 2 or lower fairy from the deck, which is going to be Low, the Prayers of the Voiceless Voice. And if it's normal special summon, they can place a Voiceless Voice, continue a spell trap from their deck, face up their spell and trap zone. And they can either get the Barrier of the Voiceless Voice, or they could get Radiance of the Voiceless Voice. They'll go for Radiance. And Promethean will bring itself out, popping Flamberge and Trias, since a monster was summoned. And they're going to go ahead and use the Radiance. Shuffle a light ritual monster, Warrior Dragon, or a ritual spell from your hand or graveyard into the deck. And if you do, add your hand or special one Voiceless Voice monster from your deck. So getting them access to Engine. Mid-combo, they're going to bring out the Saravis Dragon Sage of the Voiceless Voice. And then Raging Phoenix effect here on a new chain to bring itself back out. And then Flamber's Dragon effect also bringing out the 2 level 1 fires in of the Oak and the Ash. And they're assembling a pretty beefy board right now. But Saravis says when your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can return this card from your hand. From the field to the hand, especially when one light ritual monster, Warrior Dragon from your hand or deck, which shuffle them during the end phase. So they're going to use that now. And it looks like they're going to go ahead and bring out the Skull Guardian, which is a negate. And Nightmare Phoenix will resolve here, getting them to draw 1 card after they pop the Radiance of the Voiceless Voice. And the Zelantis has a pretty unique effect in the battle phase. I believe it can just destroy cards up to the number of co-links that that you have. Just want to quickly pull that up just to make sure that I am correct. During the battle phase, quick effect, you can destroy cards in the field up to the number of co-link monsters on the field. So they have Phoenix and Promethean are all co-linked. So that is 2 co-linked monsters. So that is 2 pops. And non-targeting pops as well. And their stuff can be targeted right now. Zelantis will attack over low, and then still in battle phase, they'll use the effect, quick effect, to clear the other 2 cards, and then attack in for what I presume to be lethal. And we'll head into game 2. Quick shout out to Imperium Duelist, guys. Check them out at the link below. They sell all sorts of amazing sleeves, playmats, deck boxes, binders, and more. I've been a long-time supporter of this channel. If you guys want to pick anything up, you can get a discount on all their stuff by using my discount code WinnerKills10 off at checkout. Save 10% off your entire order, support the channel in the process. And also, if you guys are buying anything on TCG Player, please feel free to use my affiliate link. Anytime you guys shop and check out using that link, a small bit of revenue from your purchase go right back in the channel. You just got to click the link, shop like you normally would, check out like you normally would, and you'll be supporting the channel at no extra cost to you. for stuff you're already going to be, you know, picking up, etc., etc. So anyone who uses the link, the code, much appreciated, and big thank you in advance, because it does help out more than you think. So we're going to see Voiceless Voice go first here in Game 2, as you would expect. And they're going to be able to ritual summon from the grave there with the help of the Saphira. And they'll go ahead and get to search off the Skull Guardian, which it says, if this card is ritual summoned, you can add a Voiceless Voice monster or ritual monster warrior dragon from your deck to your hand. And I believe, and I don't know if it's going to come up in this match, but our Voiceless Voice player at this time was not aware, because they're still relatively new to the deck. They were not aware that Skull Guardian only gets its effect to search on ritual summon. They thought it was on just any special summon. I mean, easy enough to mess that up, right? Especially if you just start playing the deck for the first time. But I don't know if it'll come up in this particular match. It might have already if they used, if they brought it out off of the trap card, the last one. But I don't think they did. Or they brought it off the Saravis, maybe. But either way, they're going to go ahead and use Droll here on the res of Bonfire. They go cross out. Skull Guardian attempts to negate, force them on have call by. Exactly, they do have call by. That's what feels bad right there. So Snake Eye Ash getting to add Poplar. Poplar effect to go ahead and special summon itself. Poplar effect on summon to go ahead and add the Divine Temple of the Snake Eye. Link into Link Bow, Poplar scale itself, activate Divine Temple effect to go ahead and scale the, I keep saying scale. Send to the spell trap zone the Flamberge Dragon, place it there. Snake Eye Ash effect, sending itself in Poplar to go ahead and summon from the deck. That gets ashed. At least they know they don't have crossed out or called by for that, so that will go ahead and resolve without a doubt here. But also because they have Barrier of the Voiceless Voice, their whole field, I think, just has blanket protection from targeting, which is pretty good. They'll bring out Oak. Oak brings back out the Birch. Or the Ash, rather. I think both Oak and Birch have that same effect on summon, just to basically bring out Snake Eye monster from the... or no. That's the tribute effect. Yeah. So we're going to go to Hida. Also, this is like one really annoying thing about playing against this deck is if you Ash your opponent, you just at any point have now given them a free extender, which is Hida. They can take the Ash, and then that climbs them into Promethean Princess, which is so annoying. Because Ash can be such a great card against the deck, especially on OSS, right? But one thing I've been trying to do, and this is some advice I was given, I don't know if it's necessarily correct, I just think it makes sense, like, the deck's already so powerful, why would you want to give it a chance to have another extender? Like, I think siding out Ash potentially, right, could be a good idea against this deck, right? So they're reading the Oak here. Make sure that they can bring out the Jet Synchron, but they cannot. Send 2 face-up cards you control to the graveyard, including this card, especially one Snake Eye monster from your hand or deck. Not a level 1 fire. So they're just going to bring out the Flamberge, and then Diabellstar effect. Well, Diabellstar gets summoned, sending the Flamberge. And... never mind, that's not happening. Because they can't. They can only summon fires. That's right. Yeah. I was a little confused there for a second, but remember, there is a lock currently, so they have to get rid of the Promethean. So they're going to go into the Raging Phoenix, and then trigger the on-field effect, well, the graveyard effect of the Flamberge that was on-field to bring back 2 level 1 fires in a Birch and Oak. And the arrow scheme on Raging Phoenix would be good to go for Nightmare Phoenix, so they will. They'll send off the Diabellstar, hit the set. It's a Talents, just kind of a bluff set there. They'll get a draw 1, go into the Zelantis play here, and resolve the Zelantis effect, banish everything, and he'll just return them to the field exactly in the same positions that they were. And I think they get to choose the position that they come back in. Atlantis is a very interesting card. Special summon as many monsters as possible that were banished by this effect to their owner's field, face up or in face down defense position. Yeah, so I think they had a, looks like they had a ruling question here. So you're going to bring back the Skull Guardian in defense. And then they're going to proc the effect of Promethean. Or at least attempt to. But Low was special summoned. So Low will get its effect. To go ahead and place the Radiance, and then they're getting the search off of the Skull Guardian, which they shouldn't be getting because it was not ritual summoned. That's what I was talking about earlier. But they're just adding another copy of Low, which I don't really think will matter too much here. And I also want to read Barrier, the Voiceless Voice. While you control Low, your opponent's monsters can only target ritual monsters for attacks. Also, your opponent cannot target light monsters you control with card effects. So they cannot attack either of the two Lows, which is pretty good because they're only at 50 attack. Like that's pretty strong. And looks like they're gonna go ahead and use Radiance effect target cards. Your opponent controls up to the number of light ritual monsters you control. Destroy both this card and as many of the targeted cards as possible. So they're gonna get rid of Radiance, get rid of Atlantis. Cut off that graveyard, well, that battle phase effect, which would be kind of devastating at this point to lose the Skull Guardian. And they will survive the turn. And having that Low added to hand well, might actually kind of matter here, getting that extra search. But they do have Saphira, which will go ahead and send the Prayers of the Voiceless Voice and add the Skull Guardian and the Saravas. Saravas will summon itself by sending back 2 spells. Very interesting summoning condition. By shuffling 2 spells from the hand or graveyard into the deck, including a ritual spell. So getting rid of the Prayers of the Voiceless Voice. Still have another copy there, though. I do want to quickly read Saphira. You can banish this card from your graveyard. Ritual, summon 1 light ritual monster from your hand by attributing monsters from your hand or field whose total levels equal or exceed the level. So now they're going to go ahead and normal the other Low. Get another copy of Barrier. And the defense on Skull Guardian is at 2,500, which is pretty big. They're going to link a Low into a Anima. Anima will put Flambers in the spell trap here, taking as an equip. And then they're going to ritual summon with Saphira and bring out Skull Guardian. They will get the ritual summon effect here to search, and they get to bring back Low as well because of the, I believe that's Low's effect. If you ritual summon exactly 1 light ritual monster with a card effect that requires the use of monsters, this card can be used as the entire tribute. That's pretty damn good. And then if a light ritual monster is summoned to your field while this card in your graveyard, you can special summon it to bring it back. And looks like they're just going to go ahead and mid defeat there. They see the writing on the wall, get that Omni Negate established, that targeting protection, and they're just going to be able to try to probably just push for game there, especially when the those ritual monsters, they get really huge in this deck. Skull Guardian says basically, while you have against 2050 attack, while you have Low, so it's pretty good, going up to 4,100 attack. I just hate that it has 50 attack. Very annoying. And a very 9,000 IQ play. Obviously, I'm just joking. They forget to shotgun the anti-spell in the standby phase after opening a very subpar hand there, as you can tell by their opening. And they ash the pre-prep and then flip the anti-spell on resolution, which really is only stopping, I mean, they have Barrier, the Voiceless Voice in hand, but that is about it. They'll get Saravas on field, and then they will use the effect of the Divine Temple, bringing out something from the Spell and Trap Zone. It's going to be Ash, and they will get the effect of Serapis in response to that to go ahead and tag out, basically, and summon the Skull Guardian, which they should not be getting the search there. But it is what it is. It really is not going to matter so much, I don't think, in this particular match, and you'll see why. That's why I'm still choosing to post this one. The next match that I was going to post was actually ended up being a mirror match, and I didn't know it was going to be a mirror match of Voiceless Voice. But there was a ton of misplays, and even more Skull Guardian searching on just special summon. And searching, right? So that match is getting scrapped. So the next round that you guys will see will be just the 4th and final round of the tournament. So keep that in mind. And yeah, and it is what it is, right? Sometimes you just don't end up catching these things. Severe Effect, bring out another Skull Guardian. So they would be getting their search here, right? But of course, they already got that low from the other one. And that Voiceless Voice Trap, I mean, very, very good utility card. Spec from the deck, or that quick effect to go ahead and pop, which is really good. They're going to use Cosmic Cyclone on it. Pay a rack to try to get rid of the Radiance of the Voiceless Voice, and they probably will just chain it here, I imagine, just so it doesn't get banished. I mean, I don't have the way to get it back, but they're going to chain cross out Designator in response to the activation of the trap, and they're going to take a good long minute here to try to decide exactly what they are going to call. But yeah, I just want to read that other effect of Radiance again. Target cards your opponent controls up to the number of light ritual monsters, warrior, dragon you control. Destroy both this card and as many of the targeted cards as possible. So they have 2 warriors. So they get to pop 2 there. Getting rid of the field spell and the targeted set. And then they're just going to go battle phase and attack in for 50. Set a card. And they'll just pass turn. And yeah, they have 2 spells in their hand. Yeah, so they literally can't do anything. That's why it really didn't matter so much there as to what happened and how it played out. I apologize for that. It is what it is, but we're scrapping the next round just because I don't want to have to post any more of this stuff. It is what it is. Like, it happens to me, it happens to everybody. It's easy enough to make those mistakes. But regardless, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you have not already. And last but not least, a big shout out goes to our current Divine level channel members who are Pony Star, Cadillac, Screen, Misfit, HGH Cyber, and Robin's Assistant. Thank you guys so much as always for extremely kind and very generous support of the channel.